Hello, hello. It's Althea, your feng shui coach, back with you, spending the week talking about metal and how metal personality types connect with clutter, how metal imbalances can manifest in your body, and what to do when your metal area in your room or home is needing an adjustment. So today I'm going to be focusing on the body because I am also a body worker and I have extensive training in shiatsu. So I want to go over a little bit again about the strengths that metal people embody. And so metal people are very independent and detail oriented, very rational, very well organized, disciplined. Metal people love ritual, and sometimes they can also be reserved because that metal quality is all about contraction. Think about autumn, the fall, when energy starts to go inward a little bit. So metal people possess that quality as well. And so it can, sometimes they like to be independent. They like to do things on their own, and sometimes can find themselves kind of pulling away from people at times. So another strength for a metal person is voice. Metal people can possess the quality of speaking very clearly, and so they can have very strong opinions and often feel that they are correct or always right. So what are some of the qualities of metal from a shiatsu perspective? And there's a lot of correlation between shiatsu and feng shui. So again, just like in feng shui, metal is associated with the season of autumn. It has to do with the emotion of grief. So just like in autumn, the leaves are falling. So there's this letting go aspect to metal, which is why metal people are often very good at letting go, being focused, and completing projects. So think of like also the climate is dry, so think of that very cool, crisp autumn day is that quality of dry, cool, crisp air. The secretion of the body associated with metal is mucus. The cravings or the taste for metal people, they tend to like spicy foods, pungent foods. The sense organ is smell, and the body part associated or governing metal is skin, which is considered like the third lung. Okay, so there are two meridians that are connected to the metal element. And so the first one is the lung meridian, which travels, from the from the chest all the way inside of the arm on both sides. So people who start to show imbalances in metal in their bodies can show signs and symptoms of being short of breath, having asthma. Smokers often have an imbalance in their lung meridian. They might experience pain in the chest. Sometimes they might have a negative attitude or feel jealous easily. Think of the need to be in control. So when metal is in excess, a metal person might start to want to control other people, and that could be, that can show up in your environment as well when you see metal people maybe judging other people's mess or clutter. right? But it can come across in relationships, being, jealous of your partner. So that could be a symptom or a sign of a metal imbalance. Metal people can be resistant to new ideas. They can be very stuck in their ways. And I know for myself, like, I have this tendency to always be thinking ahead, and I always have a pretty clear idea of how I want to spend my time every day. So it can be difficult for me at times to break that routine and just go with the flow. And so that's why my husband's helpful in that area, because he reminds me to go with the flow, and so do my kids. Um, so let's see. It can also show up with, dry skin, dry hair, flaky skin, eczema. So these are all signs of a lung metal imbalance. Now, if you wanted to do an adjustment in your body using a pressure point, one very sensitive area is right under the collarbone between the first and second rib. You can press right in here, and if you feel any kind of pain or tension, discomfort, this is a great area to work on. For a minute or two, you just put pressure on that area to open up your lung meridian. And when I get to the end of this, I'll also explain like a good stretch to open up the lung meridian, as well as the large intestine meridian, which is the next meridian associated with the metal element. So when there is an imbalance in the large intestine, you might experience, a lot of abdominal pain, diarrhea, constipation. So this is all about your ability to let go of what is not serving you. That is metal at its best, when it is able to let go, but not let go too much, but not also hold on too much, or be controlling. So if you have constipation or diarrhea, that's a sign of a metal imbalance. Could also be hemorrhoids, but and then on the emotional level, it could be like an over dependency, right? So metal people tend to like to be independent. So then if you are finding yourself feeling over dependent, then that's when it's imbalanced. Easily disappointed, always feeling dissatisfied, finding yourself just complaining and just having an overall negative attitude. So these are all different signs that your body is out of balance, and possibly, on an emotional level, you're feeling out of balance. So a great point to work on for metal is actually this little high point mound between the thumb and the index fingers. So I wish I could show you, but I'm holding my phone. So you would basically press on this point with your other hand, in that little mound that's created when you put your thumb and index finger together. You would press on that point to help you just release any of the stagnant chi that might be building up in your body. And as always, you can also get body work done. So you could see an acupuncturist or a shiatsu practitioner who can help you release some of this stagnant metal chi. Also, if you find yourself, at a desk job where you're sitting in a concave posture, you will also be closing up that channel, the metal and large intestine channel. So you could be mindful of your posture, sitting more upright when you are working at your desk. So, that's also an important factor to consider. Now, and then, as it relates to that, so the way that you can also open up the lung and large intestine meridian is by standing and pressing both hands out with your hands flexed. Press both hands out together, and you're going to feel a stretch along the inside of your arm and your hand, and that's going to release some of that stagnancy in the lung and large intestine meridian. You can also clasp your hands behind your back, puff up your chest, let your head hang back, and do some nice deep breathing, opening up the chest area. And then you can also clasp your hands and bend forward with your hands coming up behind your bed. I do apologize that I'm holding my phone because I wish I could show you these stretches more fully. But those are two ways to open up the chest area. You could also lay backwards on a physio ball like this one. So lay on your back, let your arms fall open, and just do some deep breathing, because that's going to open up your stomach, that whole area, and help you with your digestion. And it's also going to help to open up your chest and reverse that concave posture that we often get into. Okay, so that's it for the metal elements body portion of this week's lessons for everybody. I hope that you find this helpful, and if you feel any stagnant chi in those areas, take a little break. Give yourself a break every hour of the day when you're working to stand up and release some of that tension that's been building up for you. Okay, and stay tuned for Friday's post, where I will be talking about how you can address support in the metal areas in your home. Okay, all right, have a blessed day.